What do you need, brother? Oh, I need some Jewish penicillin, man. Matzo ball soup, chicken soup.
Just keep the air up real, keep it low.
All right, I'll have plenty of Jewish penicillin for all you sleeping saints. So, the truth of the matter is, where did born-again believers meet? Can we see from Scripture? And recall, please, that Yeshua and his ways are the same what? Yesterday, today, and forever. The same, the ways of Yeshua are the same yesterday, today, and forever. Let's see where the born-again Nazarene Israelites met. Matityahu 9 and 10. We're going to go quickly. A lot of scriptures. I want to get this deep down. So I'm not taking any credit for this. I can take no credit for this. I've been running and I continue to run because I know there are downfalls of meeting in a home. Laziness, people falling asleep, not tithing. Yeah, there are some risks, but there are some great rewards as well. Matityahu 9 and 10. And it came to pass as Yeshua sat to eat in the Bayit, you see many tax collectors, violent men, and sinners sat down with him with his Talmidim. So where were his Talmidim? It came to pass they were eating in the home. In the home. Matthew 9:23. And again, this is a shocker, Brother Chris. You will not find a single verse outside of the Shalosh Regalim where believers went to the temple in a national assembly where they were meeting on a weekly basis in homes. You will not find it. You will find them going to the temple for the what? For the Moadim, which was a national house. The temple was nothing more than a national house for the special times, but not the normal times. Matityahu 9:23. And when Yeshua came into the synagogue leader's bayit, he saw the professional mourners and the people making noise. Notice, here we have Yeshua entering the home of the rabbi, the synagogue leader, and they were conducting a funeral or a mourning. They were doing Shiva or whatever they were doing, whether they were saying Kaddish, I don't know. But the service for the rabbi, synagogue leaders, they saw professional mourners and the people making noise. Now notice, the professional mourners didn't go into a synagogue, they were in the rabbi's home. And so they went to the home. Matthew 9:28. Not the best proof, but a pretty good proof. But not the best. Okay, I'll concede that. Verse 28. Matthew 9:28. And when they had come into the bayit, the blind man came to Yeshua. And Yeshua said to them, do you believe I am able to do this? And they said to him, yes, Master. Then he touched their eye, saying, according to your emunah, be it unto you. Notice, when Yeshua came into the house, the blind man came into the house, and Yeshua said, you believe I am able to do this? So when Yeshua healed, where did he heal? In the synagogue? No. No. He healed in his house. He said, verse 30, tell no man nothing. So his ministry was primarily conducted with his Talmidim in the house. With his Talmidim. Matthew 13:36. Yes, he went into unbelieving synagogues and he proclaimed the gospel. But when it came to his ministry and the ministry of his Talmidim, he was in the house. Verse 36. Matthew 13:36. Then Yeshua sent the multitude away and went into the bayit. There we go again. And his Talmidim came to him. Where?
In the house.
Where? In the bayit. Saying, declare to us the parable of the tares of the field. So Yeshua was teaching his Talmidim, declaring the parables of the tares of the field. Where?
In the bayit.
In the bayit. Not a synagogue, not a church. Verse 36, he sent the multitudes away, but as for him and his Talmidim, they enter the house for a yeshiva, for a teaching time in the word of Yahweh. Can I hear a good amen?
Amen.
Now look at verse 57. Stay there, please. Verse 57. Yeshua said this. They were all offended by him. But Yeshua said to them, a Navi, what is a Navi? A prophet, is not unappreciated except in his own country, in his own body. He did not many mighty mitzvot there because of their unbelief. Whose unbelief? His own house. He was teaching his disciples in his own house, and his brothers and sisters thought he was crazy. Where was he doing his teaching?
In his house.
In his own house. You see that? You see that? They were offended by him. But Yeshua said, don't be offended. A Navi has appreciation except in his own country, in his own house. So where was Yeshua doing his teaching? Where was Yeshua? In a Nazarene Israelite synagogue? No. In his own house. Matidyahu. Is anyone enjoying?
Amen.
Matidyahu 16:18. I say to you, you are Kepha, and upon this rock I will restore my congregation, the rock of your confession, that I am the Son of the living Elohim. I will restore my congregation as a Bayit of Tefillah, not as a church and not as a synagogue. You are Kepha, and if you hold to that confession that I am the Moshiach, the Son of the living Yahweh, and that my flesh, my blood, and my being came from heaven, that is the restoration that I will bring to the congregation of Israel. And the congregation of Israel will not be a new synagogue or a new church. It will be a Bayit of Tefillah, and the gates of Gehenom shall not prevail against it. Can I hear a good amen?
Amen.
A house. Yeshua came to put us in the house of prayer, his renewed congregation. Matidyahu 26, a lot of scripture, and verse 6. Now when Yahshua was in Bethania, in the Bayit of Shimon, the jar merchant, there came to him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head, as he sat at the shulchan for chavurah, to eat. When his Talmidim saw it, whoa! Talmidim, Yeshua in-house. Talmidim, wherever you find Yeshua, you find Talmidim. And wherever you find Talmidim, you find in-house. You see him in the synagogue? The only time, let me repeat, just in case you're confused this morning, the only time you will find Yeshua or the disciples in a synagogue is when they were proclaiming in an unbelieving Jewish synagogue. The early believers did not know something called the synagogue. Can I be any clearer than that? Cecile, can I be any clearer? If you find Yeshua, you'll find his disciples. If you find his disciples, they're teaching or healing or ministering either on the street or in a house. If you can't say Amen, say Amen. Yochanan Moshe 2, 1 through 5. Yochanan Moshe, Mark 2, 1 through 5. Again he entered into Kfar Nahum, that's Capernaum, after some days, and it became known that he was in the Bayit house. And immediately many were gathered in, so much there was no room to receive this crowd, this congregation, no, not even around the door. He proclaimed the word of Yahweh to them in a house in Kfar Nahum. There were so many students, Talmidim, in the house that there was no more